Hello and welcome back to another Idle Planet Miner video. This is Demon Ace, and today it's going to be a pretty quick video here on the main account. A couple streams ago we started doing surge testing. If you watched my surge guide video, I mentioned that I was going to be doing a surge test run, or mini runs, to figure out what all the surge rooms were and what the probabilities were of getting those rooms, to see when you should start investing and exactly how worth it is. And so what we did was 50 runs up to planet 22. Right here, 22. We did that because we have our mothership rooms for the first probability drive. It gets up to telescope 6, which is planet 22. And then we had crew quarters up to telescope 5 and 11 forward up to telescope 4. So we had a decent probability of getting a surge on most of the planets all the way up to planet 22. And we just did 50 really quick runs up to 22, counted the surges, made a list of what surges we got, and I compiled them all into a list for anyone that's interested. And the main goal for this test was to see, for the big rewards, the ones that give you the dark matter, hollow bolts, energy cells, how often do those pop up? Is it worth it to try to invest in these for those? And I knew going into it, it probably wasn't going to be, but we'll let the results speak for themselves. I'll show those now. So here is our page that we compiled. After every run, we went through and counted up how many surges we got and which surges they were, put them all into a list for you so we can see a decent spread of the probabilities for each different type of surge. What we found was that the dark matter cache, storage facility, and decommissioned bolt factory, all of which are giving you the premium currencies, only popped up one time out of 50 runs. Decommissioned bolt factory pops up 3 times. I'm going to count that as an anomaly. Probably should have only got it once, but yeah, so we can see from this that trying to use surges to farm these different type of currencies, definitely not a strategy, not something you want to spend your time on. But we can see that some of the surges are nice and evenly spread out, and we can tell which ones are common and uncommon, and then of course your rare is going to be the currency surges. But all of the top 3 surges here, wormhole, high priority ore, loosely packed ore, these are going to be very common. These are, let's go back to take a look at these surges as we go through them. These are the surges that will help with the basic mining infrastructure of your planets, so those are all fairly common. Of course, your dark matter cache, credit factory, very rare. These are not ones you're going to be seeing very often. Abandoned smelter, electrical storms, ziggurat, unusually smooth. These are all pretty niche, but helpful in their own rights. Let's go take a look at these. These are what I would call uncommon. So everyone really likes the abandoned smelter. For every certain amount of ore that you get a bar of alloy for that ore. That one's pretty nice. Planet boost for electrical storms is decent if you can get it to land on the right planet. Ziggurat's manager effectiveness increase, that's a pretty good one. And unusually smooth, probe times cut. This is also very good if you can get it to land on planet 1. The manager effectiveness one, pretty decent if you can get it to land on a good planet, or if not, just put a random manager on there that helps out. It's not bad. Your interstellar gate, surface instability, abandoned facilities, Cosmic Wayfinder. These are all going to also fall into the uncommon. We're going to talk about Stellar Infusion and existing infrastructure in a second. Interstellar Gate, add some colonies to the planet. Surface instability, the planet produces asteroids for the ore on that planet. Abandoned facilities, immediately gets extra levels of mining, cargo, and ship speed. Cosmic Wayfinder, next telescope is instantly opened. So these are all uncommon, and again, can be decent. It's just something a little extra, not the best, but it's something. Better than nothing. Not a whole lot to say about these surges. There was one I was very surprised on. Existing infrastructure is going to be, I'm going to put that up to a common chance to get these. We got 23 of them within 50 runs. I mean, I guess technically it could be classified as uncommon, but more common than the rest, it looks like. But existing infrastructure reduces the cost of the upgrades on that planet, which is pretty decent. Not bad to have. And the big one that surprised me the most and was interesting to me was the Stellar Infusion. You can see that if you have Stellar Infusion on one of your planets, the ore just immediately sells for more. This does not affect the market for the ore, it affects the planet. So the ore on this specific planet that this surge lands on sells for up to 20% more. That one's pretty decent actually. At any point in the game, even on the early planets, like I'd say this is a top tier surge that is useful at every tier in the game, in your galaxy run. And this one popped up 38 times. It was the most common surge that we found during this testing. So I was pleasantly surprised to see that Stellar Infusion was as common as it was. This is one of the new surges that came out with one of the most recent updates, and I'm very glad that this is one of the ones that's the most common. What can we gather from all this? Surges are absolutely, without a doubt, a late game mechanic that should not be invested to until there's really nothing else for you to put your credits into. You can't use this to farm for dark matter, energy cells, or hollow bolts, and the very spread out surges that you can get. The useful ones are going to be very dependent on which planet they land on, and the only one that I can see that's going to be useful all the way through, no matter which planet it lands on, is Stellar Infusion. Thankfully, it's as common as it is. However, let's go take a look at how much it costs to get our telescopes up to our surges up to the next telescope. And at level 5, 11 forward's already up to 63,000 credits. Level 6 crew quarters is up to 32, and probability drive is up to 16. So about half the cost to get to the next room. That being said, it takes a lot of credits to upgrade these to a point where, like I'm at in the game, to get up to planet 53. Which telescope is that? I want to say that is 16. Telescope 16. It's going to take me millions of credits to get these telescopes up to a telescope 6, or these surge rooms up to telescope 16. It's going to take an incredible amount of time, and you can see that I've still got other rooms here that are they only cost 10,000 credits. These rooms give me instant bonuses that are not dependent on something randomly procking on a proper planet. These are just bonuses that are going to help me out immediately across the entire run through a galaxy. So even though my the recommended lifetime credit goal for you to start investing in surges is 1 million. I'm going to say hold off on that even more because I'm at 1 million and I do not wish to put any more credits into these until my other runes get up to, I'm going to say somewhere around the 100,000 point, because these are going to be way better for your account moving forward. I do think the probabilities need to be adjusted for the premium currency surges. That's just me. It was very disheartening to see 50 runs, a lot of time invested, and to not get anything out of it as far as the currencies go. I know that's not the point of them, but it would be nice. It'd be nice to see, something for all the credits that you're investing, some sort of return there. Unfortunately, it's just not the case right now. Maybe surges will get some more updates down the road, and we can recommend them earlier on, but for now, what the results are showing us is that they're just not worth investing in until there's literally nothing else for you to invest in. That being said, once you get to that late game where you have nothing else to put your credits into, it's a nice credit dump, and these surges can, kind of like the market, can positively affect your tournament runs. Sometimes. It's not going to be every time, but there will be a couple tournaments where it lands on the right planet and you get a nice boost from it. So that was the main reason for doing this, was just to see the spread, the probabilities of the different runes or different surges. Here's the spreadsheet for you. Feel free to pause, write it down. Anyone that is good with math and wants to make some sort of calculation from all this, these are the results I got. I know 50 is not a great number, but I couldn't put myself through any more runs of doing this. So I think 50 was a decent one. 100 would have been better, but these are the results. I think it's pretty solid test results. Okay, that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed, and I hope we got something out of this, because I sure didn't. Maybe it'll save y'all the headache of figuring it out for yourself. At the very least, there is that. Okay, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching. Have a great day.